Hey guys, welcome back to the second phase of my New Year's Eve preparation. All right, in this phase, we're going to prep our second element for my New Year's Eve show, which is the usage of artillery, okay? And I know the word artillery can be confusing to a lot of people who aren't familiar with fireworks, but when someone uses the word artillery, they're most often referring to ball shells and not canister shells. Canister shells are usually referred to as mortar rounds or mortar racks, you know, things like that. But artillery is usually referring to ball shells. I have my 18-shot fan rack here, the ball from Pyro Boom. I did a video on it recently. If you haven't seen that, you need to check it out. But I have this nice rack here, and I need to fill it with ball shells. I do have a slight dilemma, okay? And I think I got it figured out, but I just wanted to show you what my problem is, okay? Over here, you can see I have a collection of artillery shells. And all these are by Mad Hornet, which is a Shelton house brand. Alright, I have the red box, which is whistling shells. There's 6 of them. I have the green box, which is crackling shells. I have the black box, which is artillery shells with assorted effects. And lastly, I have a yellow box that says blue, red, and green penny art shell, also assorted effects. And as you can see, the ball shells, they're in front. Now you might notice one thing, that the first 3 shell kits all have similar ball shells. They're all kind of the same. And but the yellow box is different. They have like colored wrappings. And I've never shot any of these ball shells off before. I have shot off Mad Hornet jumbo cannon shells, which were very nice shells. In fact, I've got over 1,000 views on that particular video alone, which is really great. But I have 24 shells here. My fan rack only holds 18, so I need to figure out which 18 shells am I going to use in this fan rack. Now, I've been doing some thinking about it, and after much deliberation, I think I decided what I want to do. Let me show you. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all 6 of the whistling shells, the crackling shells, and the artillery shells, assorted effects. Alright. I decided to leave the yellow box out because I think the yellow box would be great for a standalone demo, you know what I mean? Because I saw these on YouTube on the Shelton Fireworks website, and I think these would be better off with a standalone video and demo. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and loading up these ball shells into the fan rack. Okay, so I just repositioned the ball shells closer to the fan rack, where I can get to them. I failed to mention at the beginning of this video that in order to put together a fan rack or any rack with artillery shells, you need some certain tools, all right, certain items. Let me show you what you'll need to load and fuse together artillery rack, all right, whether it be a fan rack or straight rack or whatnot, all right. First off, you need a rack with DR9 tubes for ball shells. Make sure they're plugged. All right. Then you'll need shells to shoot off, and we have that too. For a minute, I was kind of worried that maybe the fuse of the ball shell might not be long enough. Might have add extension. Fortunately, that's not the case. As you can see here, the ball shell fuse sticks out just enough. Some other things you're gonna need. All right, I'm using a quick fuse. This fuse here burns about 2 seconds per foot. It's really fast. You'll need a pair of clippers to cut the fuse with. All right, and you'll need some zip ties. And lastly, which I don't guess is absolutely necessary, but it's a really good idea, is to have some kind of tape, masking tape, to go over the fuse. I'll show you that later. You see what it takes to make the rack? And I'm now, at this time, I'm gonna go ahead and, all these ball shells are, the fuses are winded up and wrapped around the shells. I'm gonna take a few minutes and unwrap all these ball shells. And when I get done with that, I'll get back with you. I've got all the ball shells unraveled. And now it's time to load the rack. Now, when loading the rack, does it really matter which shell goes in which tube? I mean, they're all gonna go off, right? Right? I mean, they're all gonna go off. Does it really matter which shell goes in which tube? Well, I don't think it really matters, but I think you can make a better show if you put a little bit of effort and a little thought into it. And that's what I'm gonna do, okay? Here's what I've decided to do. For the center row here, I'm gonna load all of the black box shells in the center row. I mean, the box says artillery shells, assorted effects. Okay, so I don't know what these shells are gonna do. You know, it says assorted effects. So, I mean, each one of these shells do something a little bit different. And so, I think the best option would be to put all these in the center row. Okay? See, I don't know what they're going to do. We're going to find out. But I'm going to put all the black box rounds. Oh, that don't want to fit. There we go. I'm going to put all the black box rounds into these center here. So that's all of the artillery shells, the sword effects. The center row is now loaded with the artillery shells. Now what we got left is we have the whistling shells and the crackling shells. So which shell should I put in next? Well, personally, I'm a big fan of whistling shells. I like hearing shells whistle as they go up in the air. I mean, it's like grabs your attention. And so I'm gonna go with the whistling shell. The first shell to go off is going to be a whistling shell. All right, and then it's going to go from left to right. So I got whistling, I got assorted, the far right tube over here, we're gonna put a cracking shell. This next tube right here will not be a crackling, it will be another whistling shell. It's gonna run left to right, and then from right to left, and then on around like a S shape. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish loading this rack off camera. You guys are gonna take a break. All right, so the fan rack is now loaded properly with 18 ball shells, and now it's time for the fun part, or should I say not so fun part. I'm talking about fusing. Fusing is a tedious process that it takes a little time and a little concentration to do, because you want to do it right. You don't want to go wrong on this. All right, here's the fan rack in front of me, and basically what's going to happen is, and don't worry, I'm not going to show this whole thing being fused together, but I will show the first one. Here's the first ball shell in tube number 1, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to attach a little piece of visco fuse. This is a slow burning fuse as like a starter. That way you can light it and have a chance to walk away without having to run. All right, I'm just going to attach a piece of this, and at the same time I'm also going to attach a piece of the quick fuse also. It always helps to make your little circles first, like this. You want to make sure the fuses are adequately together to ensure that each fuse will go off the other fuse. And you don't want to do it too tight. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Light the fuse burns slow till it hits the first shell fuse, and at the same time it's going to hit this fast fuse and start the process. And I want these fuses to be pretty tight together, like so, kind of like a straight line. I don't want too much, you know, space. I don't want too much delay between each shot. I want them to go off pretty fast, but just enough where there's a separation also. There, as you can see, I got the first two fused together. I'm not going to bore you with the process of fusing them all together. I'm not even going to do a time lapse on this, okay? I'm just going to fuse them together off camera and then show you what I got afterwards. All right? All right, guys, Beach Banger here, and the second element of my New Year's Eve show is complete. And what that is artillery. I'm talking about an 18-shot fan rack armed with various artillery shells. We got whistling shells, crackling shells, and assorted artillery. All these are by Mad Hornet. And as you can see, they're all fused together. The white fuse is quick fuse, burns about 2 or 3 seconds per foot. So the lead fuse here is a slow fuse, which burns about 20 seconds per foot. So I'll light it, and then as you can see, all the shell fuses are connected in line and facing the fast fuse or quick fuse. I can tell you this, the first shell is a whistling shell. This is a sorted effect, and this is a crackling shell, followed by another whistling. And that process continues on. There's 18 shells here, and once I light the first fuse, it's going to take about 24 seconds, maybe a second less, maybe a second more, for this thing to run through and be complete. So 18 shells in less than 30 seconds. This fan rack's going to burn fast and shoot off a lot of shells in a short amount of time. And that's the way I planned it. That's the way it's designed. A lot of shells in a short time. Right. I'm the Beach Banger. Until next time, keep banging.